Kenny, 3 wins on the trot, 2 new signings. You feel momentum is continuing to build now?
I think it's a great lift for everybody. The 3 wins, 3 clean sheets, 2 fantastic signings. The supporters will be very happy, and everybody that's got any leanings towards the football club will be delighted. And there's been a lot of work going into the victories, a lot of work going into the signings as well, and everybody that's been involved in them can take great credit from it.
From your point of view, is there any disappointments at all that Fernando Torres has joined Chelsea, and maybe some of the things he's had to say since joining them?
I don't know what he's had to say since he joined them. I know what he said when he was here, but for me, everybody was disappointed that he'd left the club. I think what was most disappointing was the timing, but we'll get on with our life. The football club, as I said earlier, will always be here. We won't, and we'll never ever put one person in front of this football club, and more important than the football club. And the football club, the owners, did everything they possibly could, but it wasn't to be. So he moved on, and he's playing for someone else now. So that's just something we'll live with. And the most important thing for us are the 2 people that have come in, and that's what we'll concentrate on. And I think that's enough that I'd want to say about Fernando Torres.
I was going to say that for you, the impressive thing, just how quickly the football club did move on and acted swiftly before that transfer deadline.
Well, as I said earlier, it's great credit to Damien Comolli to get in as quickly as he could for Andy Carroll. I mean, it must have been really difficult for Newcastle to let him go. The business was done very swiftly, and it's unfortunate for Alan Pardew, who's never really had the chance at the time to spend the money that came in. But we are absolutely delighted with the 2 players that we've brought in. And as I say, there's a lot of people work very hard to do that, and they deserve a great deal of credit.
Kenny, suddenly you're up to 7th. You said you wanted a bit more, they've got the Oliver twists. How much more can you achieve, do you think? What's realistic now this season?
At least you're reading the programme then. The thing for us, as I've always said, and it's going to be repetitive and it's going to be boring. Our ambition is to get as much as we can from the next game. It's the way I've been brought up. I don't see any need to change it. If it was good enough for 2 of the greatest British managers that's ever lived, I think it'd be good enough for me to adopt that principle as well. So we've got a reward for the hard work that we've done. The boys have worked really hard, and it's been a difficult week for them as well. Some people forget that they also have emotions and feelings, and it'll be difficult for them. We've been in the newspapers a lot all week, and really it puts an extra bit of strain on them. And it's great credit to them that they put all that behind them and put on such a determined performance last night to get a result against Stoke. So we've been delighted with their attitude and approach since we've come in, and if they continue to work hard, we'll continue to gain points, and the more points we gain, the higher we'll finish in the league, and that's all that we want to try and achieve.
Now you're winning games in this your 2nd spell. Now your feet are under the table. How much are you enjoying this challenge? How much are you relishing it?
Yeah, well, it's a football club. It means an awful lot to myself, and as I said before, all of the family members. So I'm only doing what millions of others there. They've got a favourite towards the club we do, and that's try and help them. And if we can help turn the corner a little bit and improve our league position in a number of points, and play a small part in the future, then fine. I'm enjoying myself, which would be criminal if you're winning games. So we're enjoying it. I think a very pleasing thing for me last night is when we scored both goals, every player celebrated, and that's important for us, because if we have a good dressing room, we have a better chance of being successful. And I think it showed that the dressing room is pretty united.
Do you think Chelsea tapped up Torres? Do you think they approached him when he's under contract? Do you suspect that?
I hope he records your words and not mine, because you better be careful. We're all liable. So there.
Kenny, do you get a sense that the club, both on and off the field now, is going back to the Liverpool way, the way they conducted the whole transfer market and the window, and what's happening on the pitch as well? Do you get that sense?
I think it's very difficult to go back to what the Liverpool way was before. Usually you get told after the player had signed. Because of the stature of the Premier League and the demands and the media outlets that are there now, it's very difficult to keep things totally under wraps, and it's not really in anybody's interest to have it totally under wraps, but I think there's speculation and there's fact, and I think a lot of times the speculation overrides the facts, and the best way for us to try and be is to tell you something when we think it's almost about to happen, rather than go through and mislead yourselves or mislead the supporters and lead them up a garden path. I mean, I'm no one that believes in gaining publicity for putting bids in for players that I know have no chances of getting. I would rather be realistic and know that if we go for a player, we've got a good chance of getting them. So for me, it's the end result that's the most important, and the best way for me to do that, I think, is the best way that the club have done it in the past, and that's to take into account everybody that needs to be told, but be told at the right time, and for us to be able to do our work behind closed doors and not to have unwarranted headlines. There's no relative really to what we want to see in newspapers about the football club.
Kenny, as far as Sunday's concerned, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, they appear to be getting back to something like the best, and it's a really stern challenge for you.
Of course it's a difficult game. They did a great result at Sunderland the other night there, and they've picked themselves back up. They went through a run of games where they couldn't buy a victory, but they're back in song now. They're playing well. They are a good side, but I don't think we're too bad either, so they'll be looking at us and they'll say that we're on the up, and they'll be as concerned about us as we will be about them.
How much do you think the players can take confidence-wise from the result at Wolves? We know Wolves and Chelsea are different sides, different qualities, but the away victory, and that can help to give a bit more confidence.
Well, any victory gives you confidence. I think for us to have 1-3 in the spin and three clean sheets will give them a lot of confidence. But also, as you rightly said there, every team has its own style of play, and we've got to compete against that style of play and earn the right for us to play. But Chelsea have a different style to what Stoke or Wolves have had, and so we've got to compete against that. It's away from home. The responsibility is on Chelsea, I suppose, to push forward, but we've got a responsibility as well to compete as best we possibly can, and we can only go there, try our best, make sure we're prepared properly, and see what happens.
And having Jamie Carragher back available again, I know he was on the bench for the match in midweek. I mean, it's the sort of test that Jamie Carragher relishes.
Well, I think he's just delighted to be back. As I say, Carragher's a very strong character, very important in the dressing room, and when he's fit, he'll be very important on the pitch as well. So for us, it's a bonus to have Jamie Carragher back in amongst the squad.
And Chelsea are a very powerful side, aren't they? Very robust, and not in terms of just their physical approach, but athleticism as well.
You're allowed to compete, aren't you? They're a good side. They've got some great players, and they are strong. They are quick. They move it quite well. So we know what they've got. It's up to us to try and be better than them on the day.
Okay, the transfer aside, you'll be the first team to face a strike force of Didier Drogba and Fernando Torres. What do you think about that prospect?
Do you know the rest of the team?
Have a go.
Well, have a go. You tell me the rest of the team, and then we can start from there.
Well, Carlo said that Fernando will be considered for the game at the weekend, as he wasn't in midweek, and there's a fair chance he might play up front with Drogba. It's only a guess, that's all.
Oh well, we'll wait and see what happens. We're not going to pick the team for them, are we? I don't know who Carlo's going to pick, and until he comes out and tells us who he's going to pick, then we're the same as you. We're guessing.
Would you like to pick the team?
Yeah, I'd like to play against about 5 of
them. Would you rather Torres wasn't playing, Kenny? Would you prefer that he wasn't paid for this game?
We just play against whoever they put out on the pitch. We're more important than any player they've got.
It's part of your build-up, Kenny. I mean, some of the fans will think of it in terms of Liverpool against Fernando Torres. Is part of your build-up to, to try and take that out of the equation?
I don't need to take it out of the equation. These people know the football club's more important than any one individual, as I said earlier. Whether the individual's been and gone or whether he's here now, they know that, and we know that. So I don't think our fans need an education and the importance of the football club and what it stands for. Our fans will come there and support us, irrespective of who we put on the pitch.
Do you think the Liverpool players will, if Fernando Torres does play, will relish the battle, if that's the right word, against him?
I would expect so. I think they've relished the battle against everybody that's come in since I've been here. They've competed brilliantly against every player that's been on the pitch in opposition to us so far, and I wouldn't think there's anybody there that they wouldn't compete against. So our lads, if they weren't competitive, we would have a problem, and I certainly don't think that's the case. I think our lads will be competitive, irrespective of the opposition.
Could there be a bit of extra spice?
No, for me, no. Not for me.
Kenny, what are your observations about the rivalry between Liverpool and Chelsea? It's not a traditional rivalry, but when you speak to the fans, they'll say that it's really grown in the last few years, and it's almost rivaling the Manchester United rivalry in many ways.
Well, I've not heard them say that. So I think when they had the so-called top four and Liverpool were part of that as Chelsea were, they were all rivals. For me, anybody that's in opposition to is a rival. You compete against them. So I don't have a pecking order in terms of importance and what games you want to win. Every game you only get 3 for us. So if you win it, for me, we're more important than any of the opposition. And yeah, we have to compete against Chelsea's, Manchester United's, Arsenal's, Tottenham, everybody else, and we'll try our best to do that. But there's no special opposition there as far as I'm concerned.
Kenny, with what's happened over the past week, do you view it or take the view that the owners are backing you personally as well?
They're backing the football club. That's more important than me or anybody else, as I said before. The football club's the most important thing, and the owners are showing by their actions how determined they are to get the football club up and moving.
Has that impressed you as well, their attitude?
I think it's impressed everybody. It's impressed everybody the way they've come in and done their business. The transfer window was always going to be a focal point for the owners, and people were looking to see how they were going to behave. And Louis signed late on, but that was only through a time scale. It wasn't anything pre-planned. He was on the radar for a while, and then Andy came in right in transfer deadline day, and it is a fact that they will want to bring others in that we couldn't get. So very, very positive from the owners for the football club, irrespective of whether I was here or not. They have a great determination to go forward. Okay.
Can I just ask you any team news in problems after last night? Anything you could tell us?
Christian Poulsen was on the bench last night until he tried to tie his bootlace in his back, went into a spasm. So we didn't want to take a chance. If it to be sitting on the bench, it could have stiffened up on him. So we removed him for that and put Danny Wilson on the bench. Joe Cole just tweaked his knee a little bit in training earlier on in the week, and we don't know whether he'll be fit enough for Chelsea, but it's nothing serious. He could be fit, he might not, and I think that's about the only two. Okay, thanks very much, lads. All the best.